Hi everyone, welcome on board to Helper.tv.
Labour Party chieftain Professor Pat Utomi decided to come out to speak, clear the air on Peter Obi's leaked phone call with Bishop David Oyedepo, the spiritual head of Living Faith Ministry. In this audio, Peter Obi is said to have reportedly begged Bishop Oyedepo to help him canvass for support from the Christian community, making it categorically clear that this is a religious war. And people like Unnamani already said Peter Obi was simply trying to confuse, was simply trying to kind of beckon or tap into the openness of Yoruba people, their acceptance and their open hands, that he was trying to use religious sentiment because he knows that it might be difficult for him to tap into that tribal part of it, and he wanted to use the religious part of it. And he quickly picked a man who we know is from Kwara State, and I've always talked about Islamization. If you know Kwara State, you will know what I'm talking about. Kwara State is dominated by Northerners, aliens, particularly Muslims, and there have been contention in that part. So if Bishop Oyedepo is speaking in that manner in his church, as a bishop, as a Christian leader, you should know where he's coming from. And Peter Obi worked on this and even said to church members, get your country back from them. And people were wondering, from who? And eventually it became clear that Peter Obi was trying to use church and all of this. Now, you are going to listen to Patutomi, who said there is nothing that is sinister, nothing punishable, nothing that anyone needs to think about, nothing that anyone needs to see further in this phone call. He said it is not a crime for him to have called on prophet, pastor, bishop, yes, he calls himself a prophet too, asking him to help him canvass Yorubas, Christians in the southwest of Nigeria. Pat Uthomi appeared on an interview AIT Kakaki program, and he actually had a phone call, and he said, yes, I know about this audio call, this phone call, and he also claimed that his friends, I don't know in what capacity, I don't know what he meant by friends, he said they are part of this group of people who decided to leak this audio out. So is it the obedience? Is it people like Kenneth Okonkwo, who they say was kicked out? Who are the people who leaked this audio? We are talking about audio between two people. Bishop, Living Faith, probably in his office or his home, and Mr. Peter Obi in his own place. What are your thoughts? Don't forget to like and share this video as we proceed to listen to what he has to say.
Ask you first, on the pages of newspaper today, the papers are agog with story of alleged Oyedepo Obi leaked tape on election, even though there have been denials from both people mentioned in this story, but this is something that has trended during this period. What do you make of this statement? And you are a Labour Party chieftain as well. What's the position of your party on this?
Well, first of all, I don't see what there is in this thing. You know, in Nigerian politics, and I can understand, and I know the people who are behind this, they are my friends. They are masters of narrative invention. They invent narratives to take people's attention away from the real issues. So, every politician doesn't even assume complete, total authenticity of that recording. Every politician appeals to every sentiment of a religious nature to religious leaders. There is nobody who has run for president that I can even think of, even Muslim leaders who have not gone to visit Pastor Adeboye and maybe kneel down before him and get blessing. So, how peculiar, I don't understand. What the tape simply says, and of course there was doctoring as usual, but it's okay, and these are government agents security forces in our country are being used to prevent our country from making progress. A time of judgment is going to come for everybody. But let's get to the heart of the matter. Calling religious leaders, I've just heard that they are trying to make this issue a religious thing. Well, in your state area where they are trying to make this a religious issue, if you appeal to your followers, it will serve our cause good. Now, in countries around the world, there are even religious parties. There are parties that identify with the of a particular faith. Therefore, Israel is an example. The party is the Christian Democrats. It identifies with said Christian values and uses it to canvass support. So, what's the big deal in this? When people want to create a narrative, there is position to what their bloc and for Muslim want to create the impression it's a red herring. You're not a smart person if you get fooled by this tape. Things that get thrown out. It is of no relevance to understanding democracy, even the so-called polarization of society. So, can we just dismiss it for what it is? A political prank game by security officials and move on to discussing serious things. Because our country is in very, very dire straits. It's in serious trouble. Our democracy is losing meaning to the world. And we are about to go into another crisis of legitimacy of the state. The Abacha era is returning. Nigeria is moving into a new virulent fascism. And the masters of it are playing with all kinds of games rather than focus on the fact we have an election that was deliberately prevented from being a tabulation of the will of the people.
All right, Prof, you know why it's important to discuss this really is because if we don't discuss it, then we may also be encouraging what has happened with this election. Now, in some quarters, in almost every quarter, this election 2023 seemed to have thrown up so much ethnicity and ethnic tendencies and now religious tendencies building up. Now, if you look at the Blueprint newspaper this morning, even someone from the southeast is saying that the religious politics are deflowered nation's virgin of innocence, also trying to cast aspersion even to the logo of the Labour Party. So many people had faith in the Labour Party and its candidates. So that is why it's important to ensure that this really didn't happen, describing the election as a religious war. I think it's just that one line, that caused tension in this leaked audio.
It doesn't cause any tension for me. Somebody is saying to another person, I've been told that this thing is now coming down to a religious war in some places. Please, do your bit for us. That got no tension whatsoever for me. And I can tell you that I know those who run this thing. I know what they are capable of. They have already created. Look, it's very simple. Nigeria is a constitutional crisis. Let's sit together. If it's not working, let's decide what we want to do with it.
Well, apart from this leaked audio and the content of it and that particular part that has been highlighted, religious war, and I will make sure that you do not regret supporting me. Many people have looked at it and they are like, we thought that Peter Obi was riding on clarity, not on religion or tribe. But unfortunately, they are beginning to see that politics is not as easy as people think it is. And they're beginning to see the other side of Peter Obi. They said, oh, Peter Obi, so you too, you are part of these people who will either sell Igbo Yoruba thing when election comes. You are the type of people who will now sell Christian, Muslim, traditional worshiper thing when it comes to vote. People who are Christians and who are Muslims, they know who to vote for because everybody experiences the same thing. Hardship. It doesn't matter what tribe, what part of the country you are. As long as you are not in the corridor of power or you're not involved in some criminal activities, everyone experiences the same thing. Now, Peter Obi has said it several times. He said, if you want to be addressed as an honorable, if you want to be addressed as your excellency, you have to be honorable in your action. You have to be excellent in your words and in your deeds. And this, as you heard from the Kakaki, he said, this is very important as people are beginning to kind of waver. They are not sure anymore. They are like, what is this? You know why this is hurtful? This is because Muslims, even from the north of Nigeria and from the south of Nigeria, voted for Peter Obi. And now that Peter Obi is talking about religious war, they feel hurt. They're like, seriously? Are you saying we that are Muslims that voted for you, we are stupid? What religious war? What has Christian, Muslim, Christian, what has that done for us? It has not taken us anywhere. Now, my own personal opinion is this. It is right, it is correct for you to have the federal character expressed as it should be all over from the executive down. It is also right for religion, which we know plays a huge role in our lives, to be, kind of represented. But let us be very clear. Let us say the truth. The reason why all of this clamor and this issue is being raised is because we have not gotten to that point in Nigeria where the system has been so much solidified that Christian, Muslim. In fact, religion will be second class, because if you're a Muslim or you're a Christian, you cannot come in and begin to implement or come up with any form of project, plan, policy that does not cover all of the spheres of Nigeria. It has nothing to do with religion. It means a pastor will not go to meet president, political office holder, expecting them to build for them a church or a dome or a cathedral or a mosque or a place of worship. Neither will they expect that taxpayers' money or money gotten from selling of natural resources will be used to transport them to Mecca or to Jerusalem. Or will that money be used to allow them park free jets? No. Or helicopters? No. This will not be allowed. And they will not be able to have access to everyone. Everything has to be done according to the law. But because these things are not so, that is the reason why all of these lacuna are being presented. That is why Peter Obi is looking at it is a religious war. For where there is no religious war, it is poverty war, hunger war. There is no religious war in Nigeria. Yes, we do know in some parts there are people who have used conflict, but we know that it's an economic conflict. It is not about dominating. It's not about Islamic domination. Apart from parts of Nigeria, the north, where you have Muslims who will murder people because of Allah, because of Muhammad. Apart from that, in the north of Nigeria, it is more about economy. It's not about how much they want to keep in their pockets. That is when they stoke up this. And of course, look at Boko Haram and the rest of those nonsense happening. Is it serious? Well, what are your thoughts about this one? Do you think it's a religious war? Do you think Muslim ticket will make Nigeria go down further into poverty? Do you think Christian ticket will make Nigeria move up and become better, richer, and everyone will benefit? What are your thoughts? Drop your comment. Do not forget to like and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're new here.
I say a very big thank you to those who have taken time to subscribe to this channel. And if you're yet to subscribe, kindly tap on that subscription button and also the red bell icon so you will be notified whenever videos such as this are uploaded.